subscribe to the Donnie Houston podcast, man.
What's going down, man? It's your boy Donnie Houston, man. We out here live in Third Ward on the South Side, man, on June 27th. That's right, A-Sign holiday, June 27th. Happy birthday to Demo, first of all. You know what I'm saying? He's the one responsible for this whole thing. It's going down. Rest in peace, DJ Screw. Rest in peace, Big Pokey. Rest in peace, Big Mo, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it's the Donnie Houston podcast. We're live here, Bar 5015, June 27th. It's going down. Got a lot of special guests coming through, man. Slab karaoke. There's a whole lot going on, man, today, but we finna get into some new interviews, special interviews, you know what I'm saying? It's a special edition, June 27th edition, live from Bar 5015 right here in Third Ward on the South Side in Houston, Texas. It's going down. Yeah, man, it's going down. It's Donnie Houston Podcast. I am Donnie Houston. Check it out. We have a very special guest. I'm honored when we're talking about lawyers and law firms in Houston. It doesn't get too much bigger than today's guest, and I'm just honored to have her here. Amber Mostyn, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for being here.
Yeah, nice and cozy and warm.
Definitely warm. Definitely warm. So we were talking off air about, just law and just the things that come with that, and you were just telling me, some of the stresses and, just the things that come with being a lawyer,
Yeah, well, you told me your sister's a lawyer.
Right.
And that you thought about going to law school. And I said, I'm going to assume that you are much happier than she is.
Right.
I don't know what she does, but, the hard thing about being a lawyer is no matter what you do, you're taking on someone else's, problem. Mm-hmm. And you already have your own problems. You already have your own business problems and concerns. And then you take on this legal problem for your client. And you want to make it better. You want to fix it. You want to make things better for your clients. And it's not always possible, number one. And number two, just the stress of doing all that, you're not in control of it. The courts are, there are other things at play that you've got to try to strategize around. And you just can't always do that as successfully as you want to. So that's, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you're happier on a day-to-day basis than she is.
You've been able to do such an amazing job in the field. What led you to even go down that path?
I always tell everybody I had great parents. I mean, my stepdad's a lawyer. My mom worked for him. It was a family office.
Oh, you didn't have much choice.
No, not really. My other option was archaeology. And that's my degree, is in anthropology. And when I graduated, I did some work out in the field, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me on a day-to-day basis. I was like, I'm not doing this. It was fun while it lasted, but anyway, my parents, I grew up with it, and more than anything, I saw the stress of it. Running your own firm is hard, and it's cyclical too. There's not always the volume of business you want, or things aren't always moving the way you want them to. So that's stressful, but I got to see how fulfilled my mom and dad were from it, and they felt that way because of what they were able to do for people. They made people happy, to help them take care of their problems, and they had some clients who, literally I grew up with. Even to this day, when I go home to Fort Worth, there are people I'm going to run into who they know me because they were clients of my dad's for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, just depending on what kind of problem they had. And he really was their counselor. People would come to him and say, I know this isn't the kind of law you practice, but I got this problem. What do I do? So
did you take on that as well, that aspect as well?
Yes. Yes. My team gets a little frustrated with it sometimes, because I'll say, oh, hey, so-and-so's going to call you. This is the problem. I told them we'd help them. And my team will be like, that's not what we do. We don't know how to fix that. We don't do that. I'm like, oh, we'll figure it out, or find somebody who can help them. Let them know that, this is somebody I met, or this is somebody I care about, and we'll get it figured out. Yeah. So, yeah, I do that a lot. I can't help it.
Yeah. It's just who you are.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse.
My little sister is like that. We're talking about all my family days.
Yeah, okay,
you asked me about my older sister.
Is she your older sister's in Atlanta?
So my older sister, she's in Atlanta. You asked me. She works for.
Yeah.
I'm saying right? Yeah, you know the company. So she works for them. My younger sister, she is head of over e-commerce from. Or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And you went to UT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she graduated from UT. So. Yeah. But same personality. Like she'll sign me up for stuff, and I'm like, Josh, I don't want to.
It's just like, no, come on, come out and help us do this. Yeah.
So I get it.
And my daughter's that way too.
Yeah.
My son is too. He just graduated from college, but he hasn't. He was away at school, so I haven't been able to like rope him in as much lately. But he's on his way home right now. So
is he going to? What is he following? Is he going to do the law as well?
Who knows? You know, he got a degree in business and entrepreneurship. He likes sales, and he's looking right now. Unfortunately and fortunately for him, he's going on a trip with his girlfriend's family to Australia.
Your kids are going on the most amazing trips, right? Because your daughter's going, you were just telling me off air, she's going somewhere, Costa Rica? Yeah.
She's going to be doing a service project. He is going to be like swimming the Great Barrier Reef and, God. Scuba diving. So, but it's their graduation.
And this is after, that's what I'm going to say, after graduating college. What a way to go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's slowed down his job search a little bit. So when he gets home, he's going to really try to buckle down and find something. But he's the same kind of kid. It's hard for him not to get involved and want to do something.
Yeah. So I was on your...
It's a good problem. It's a good thing to pass on.
Right. Yeah. So I was on your site, and there was a line that stuck out to me because it was so strong.
Okay.
It said, "We may not be liked by our opponents, but we will be respected." Like, it's a very simple statement, but a very strong statement. Like, just a lot of the things, and maybe I need to go to more lawyer sites, because there were things like battle and this and that, and I'm like, whoa, like this is a real thing. Like when you get clients, you really going to bat for these people like that.
Yeah. I mean, it is, unfortunately, I do litigation, and I do primarily personal injury litigation, and there really aren't many options for a compromise or like a win-win situation. The whole system is set up to have winners and losers. So my late husband and I practiced together, and our philosophy generally was, if you carry the biggest stick and everybody knows that you're willing to go the distance. I mean, that's the big issue in my profession, is whether the lawyer that you have is willing to go the distance with you. And so if you're willing to do that, and the other side knows that, the court knows it, you got to have the resources to do it. So not everybody can do that. I work with a lot of lawyers. They'll send me their cases. We'll work together on the cases because they don't have the resources to fund, litigation. It can get really expensive. I'm not embarrassed by those statements. I totally stand by them because that is what it is. I just wish I could say something really enlightened, but we try to find a win-win for everybody and make it work.
But the reality is
that's not the way the system's set up. And if you're my client, that's not what you want anyway.
I don't want to hear that. Yeah.
No, you don't want to hear that anyway. So it's not that's another thing that's hard about being a lawyer. It's not terribly growth oriented for your mental health or your emotional well-being. It is a win or lose situation. Now, that doesn't mean that sometimes you don't compromise in your client's best interest. Like, hey, the best thing to do for you right now is not to go to trial, or is not to put our foot down. Knowing everything we know about your case or the situation you're in, the best thing to do is this, which may be short of going to trial. But that's one thing we established a long time ago, 20 years ago. If we don't think that they're doing right by you, we're going to stand by you until they do. Whether that's all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. I mean, we've had to take cases up on appeal all the way to the Texas Supreme Court.
Is that what's helped you kind of come up in the ranks like this, because you are willing to go the distance?
I think that a lot of hard work, being willing to read documents in the middle of the night. A lot of times, especially when you're going against a big company, we've had a couple big product liability cases. They love to just dump literally 1 million pieces of paper at your feet, and the thing you're looking for is the needle in the haystack there. But we're willing to do it. We're willing to put in the work, and the team at the office has, just through the evolution of things and people leaving, it's a team we all believe that way. not only do we believe it, we like almost can't help ourselves a little bit. It's a little obsessive sometimes, but you know, we're kind of there to support each other and be like, hey, I'll take on the rest of that for you. You've been working on this for a while. But yeah, I think that's one of the reasons we're respected by our opponents, the other lawyers that we work with. Some of them, truly, they don't like us. And they may have choice words to say one way or the other.
So you guys have built up a nice amount of haters. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're not really, you know.
I mean, hopefully they've come around now.
Yeah, it wasn't personal. It was
That's
business.
right. You know what I usually tell, so what we do is called plaintiff's work.
Yeah.
We represent people, churches, businesses that have been injured somehow. Either they're physically injured or their property was injured in like a hurricane or hailstorm or the winter storm. We got a bunch of those cases. So, you know, what I like to tell people is, you know, we're the plaintiffs, you're the defense lawyer, you're defending the person we're suing. You wouldn't have a job, you wouldn't be making money if we weren't suing your client. So, I think after a while some of them kind of come around. They're like, I haven't seen you much lately. You filing any more cases? You know.
Yeah, that's a funny way to look at it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think most people would say they respect the work that we do.
Yeah.
They may not like it. They may think we've made choices that they wouldn't have made in the past, but
when you say that, what would be something you would think that somebody would say, well, we wouldn't make this choice, but we made it because of this reason? Like,
yeah. For example, there have been several cases that we've taken to trial. The value of that particular case may not have justified it in a lot of lawyers' minds. Like, you know, it wasn't a real significant case monetarily, but the other side wasn't offering enough money to get it resolved in a way that was right for our client. And so, I mean, we've had a couple cases like that we took them all the way to trial. We worked on the appeal, if there was an appeal. And a lot of lawyers wouldn't have done that because they didn't feel like the value of the case justified either that amount of work or money. Like, quite frankly, you know, time.
But that type of stuff matters to the clients, though. Like,
yeah, totally. And what we've done a lot in the past is, particularly when we have like a big group of cases, so we represented thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Hurricane Ike, particularly around here, Galveston, you know, the Golden Triangle down in Beaumont, you know, all over Houston, Montgomery County, all over the whole area that Ike hit, right? And a lot of times what we would do is we would have a case that was maybe the first or second one that got set for trial, but we knew that what we did in that case was going to have an impact on all the cases behind it. Even, you know, the discovery, the documents that we asked for, the people's depositions that we took, that kind of thing, it was going to matter to those other cases. So we spent a lot of time on those first few cases, whereas that particular case might not be as valuable to some other people, but it mattered to those clients, and then it mattered to all the clients behind it. So that's a really good example, because the Hurricane Ike litigation, almost all the cases in Harris County in this area got stuck in one court so that they could be processed efficiently and consistently. And so those first few cases were really important, because all of the thousands and thousands of cases behind that were going to get treated the same way, procedurally at least, you know. So that was really helpful. I tried one of the first Hurricane Ike cases that was tried in Harris County, and we won it. I think we got like a $150,000 verdict. We probably spent $100,000 on it. But when we did it, we had an agreement with our client that, you know, because they were sort of the tip of the spear, they weren't going to be penalized for that, and you know, that they would end up coming out okay, financially speaking, and then all the other cases behind that were going to benefit from that. And we were able to get a lot of cases resolved after we tried that case, because the insurance companies look at that and go, oh, okay, you know, they're going to take it as far as we're going to make them take it.
Right. So. This sounds like a lot of work, just everything you're doing. What do you do for fun?
Well, I love music.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I wanted to be here today. I love music. I love art. I love culture.
What kind of music do you like?
Everything. Seriously. I'm not so, much to the dismay of my friends at KTSU, I'm not as knowledgeable about jazz as I think I might want to be at some point, or opera. I love musicals, hip hop, rap, country, pop. I just went to a Taylor Swift concert, and Lil Wayne and Taylor Swift within like 2 weeks of each other. So
wow. What's your favorite rap album?
Rap album. I could probably say more song.
Song. Okay, we can say song. That's
well, let me just tell you what's on repeat right now, though, just because I just went to Lil Wayne, A Milli, and 6 Foot, 7 Foot.
Nice.
And
that's a little turn up jam.
Yes, and really Jay-Z. I'm not a.
Are you turning up in the car when you?
Yeah, my 16-year-old.
She's embarrassed, like, oh, mom.
Yeah. She'll be kind of. She'll be there with me for a little bit, and then she'll like, all right, stop.
It's getting weird now,
yeah,
Mom.
It's getting weird now. The guy's looking at you at the stoplight. Stop. But yeah, Jay-Z. I'm not a huge Kanye fan, although there's a few songs, especially his collaborations with Jay-Z. I think he's great when he collaborates. Yeah, I'm just trying to think through. I mean, that's probably, and I probably don't have like knowledge of I don't have enough knowledge to say this album, but songs, you know, Big Pimpin' is still like
party records.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, but also Kendrick, and I kind of went down a Kendrick, you know, Alexa, play Kendrick on Spotify. I went down that road.
That was so natural. You really use your Alexa.
Oh, I told you earlier, I was like, Alexa, play the Donnie Houston podcast. I do that a lot. Because I think then it gives you like a good, especially if it's not somebody you're really knowledgeable about, it gives you a good wide range of what's really popular for them. And then, you know, it uses the algorithm to start putting that in your preferences or whatever you call it. The AI that knows everything about us.
What do you think about this AI thing going on? And how is that going to play a role, if any, in the legal field?
That's an interesting question. It really is. And I don't think we really know yet. You know, there were a few stories a couple months ago when ChatGPT really burst out on the scene about some legal briefs that were written by ChatGPT. I think a good judge could probably look at one of those and know that a person didn't write it. That's what I hope, actually. But also, you know, there's lots of forms out there already. There's form books. There's forms online that you can purchase subscriptions to and all that. And they're helpful sometimes as a starting place, but I just don't think you can replace having a human know your client, understand your client, know the judge, know your opponent, you know all of the things, know when your trial setting is, know how aggressive you can be right now versus maybe later down the road. I just don't think you can replace that. I think it's interesting for like marketing reasons, you know, just like writing content. That's always a challenge, is just have content. So
it's the craziest thing. One of my friends was showing me that.
I don't like it when people write my content. So, you know.
Somebody was showing me, he was like, hey man, yeah, I could do your interview. I was like, what do you mean? He pulls up the app and he's like, 5 questions for a Houston rap artist. And it pulls up and I was like, man, come on, man.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Okay. Yeah, but still.
But still, you can't replace personality. You can't when you really get into going back and forth, you still have to be able to carry the conversation. So
yeah, that ChatGPT would not have known that your sister is a lawyer in Atlanta, right?
Right, yeah, no way. Yeah.
Or you almost took the LSAT. That's not, yeah. So I just, I think it's kind of scary right now. I do think there will be a lot of adjustment in the workforce, unfortunately. But even already right now, people contact me all the time. We're in the Philippines. We can, do legal work for you, contract us out and all that. And some people do that, and I think it's helpful for some people, but I'm a little leery of that. Like I said, I don't like people to write my social media posts. I mean, I do it sometimes, but you know, it needs to look like a mom wrote it. My daughter was like, Mom, your Instagram looks like a mom wrote it.
Perfect.
I'm a mom.
That's nice. That's nice. So, okay, before we get out of here, talk about your involvement with this event that we're here for. You know, we got the June 27th going on and all these things. Just talk about what it means for you and your brand and your company and everything to be involved with an event like this for the city of Houston. And the podcast as well, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what it has to do with my brand, but just like on a personal level, when Michelle came to talk to me about this, first of all, I want to work with Michelle. You know, I enjoy her and her show and been on it a couple times for Women Crushing It Wednesday. But also, like, I love art, culture, music. And when I moved here to Houston, I moved here in 2005. So,
oh, wow. Oh, but that's a great time, though, because Houston was like on. Like,
a great time, but DJ Screw had already passed, and so I missed I missed when June 27th was originally released. Also, let's just tie this back to law school again. I was in law school, and you don't listen to anything or do anything or know anything about music or anything else.
Definitely not a Screw or anything.
No.
Yeah.
So I just missed it, the whole thing. And then, you know, when I got down here, things were already kind of rolling and all that. And I knew of him, but I didn't know, like, in a detailed way. So when Michelle came to me about this, I really appreciated the opportunity, first of all, for me to learn. Like, I'm a deep diver. I go down rabbit holes. It's that obsessive thing about being a lawyer, right? Like, I go down rabbit holes and I want to know and understand. But I also think, and I know you're like a rap historian, so, and you just had the SUC reunion.
That was last year, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's just really cool when you can hear from pioneers, like directly from them, right? Living legends, directly from them, and you can look around and say, oh, okay, like, I can see the threads of this in the culture. But then also, like, just, I was thinking about this morning, you know, you had the reunion last year, you had Big Pokey on. Like, how fortunate are we that we got to hear from him while he was still here, and now he's passed. It just makes this, like, I get chills a little, like, it just makes it really meaningful. So, and I think there's so many people, not just that who he influenced and like, and who he, like, you know, besides bringing this new sound and all that, but like so many artists, but then they're just like regular people who don't really know the significance, may have heard of him, may have heard it before, have heard of him, but don't really know how to tie it all together. I think that's really cool. Also, I'm friends with, I do some work on the radio, I'm friends with Hada, friends with J-Mac, and just talking with them about music, and it's so much fun with Hada because he was literally there.
Hada was there for everything.
Yeah, and your episode with him is so good.
Oh, thank you. That was like that's still one of my favorite interviews because I grew up listening to Hada, man. Like, Hada's the GOAT of Houston radio. Like,
yeah, and I mean, when he and I are recording some spots or doing something, like, I just usually need to block out like 2-3 hours because we're going to start talking, and I mean I want it. You mentioned that you got to watch the Juneteenth podcast with Hada and Commissioner Ellis. We could have sat there and talked for 3 or 4 more hours. We recorded actually on Memorial Day, so we were like, okay, we got stuff we got to go do, and Hada was like, I have enough content, and we had somebody filming it, and they were like, I got to go too, and we're like, okay, I guess. He's just so knowledgeable and has done so much, and he's at such a really interesting and cool place in his life right now, and he's willing to share with people, and I just think that's really, I love talking to him about it. So that's another reason I wanted to be involved in this is, he's going to be here, he's involved, and it's just another opportunity to learn the history and to see the cultural threads.
I hadn't even noticed this whole time we've been talking, but you got this swanger on your t-shirt.
Yeah.
This is a really dope t-shirt.
Thank you.
This is dope.
Contemporary Art Museum.
Nice.
So a couple of years ago, they had an exhibit called Dirty South.
I actually did my podcast there for that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did a podcast.
This is some of the merch from it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I hadn't even noticed. It's so cool.
had his baby, I bought him a onesie that has
Nice.
It's nice, huh?
Well, anything else before you want to give your social media and all that before we close out?
You mean like my Instagram handle?
Yeah, whatever you want to give out. Yeah.
Follow me on all the socials, link in bio, like that kind of thing.
This is so motherly. That was very mom.
Thank you. Yeah.
Follow me on the social media.
It's just at Amber Mostyn.
Right, and the Mostyn Law.
Mostyn Law and 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Like I think that's the easiest way for people to find us. It's 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. And what I tell everybody is just go ahead and put it in your phone right now, because if you are involved in an accident, you're going to be freaking out. So it'll just be in your phone. You call us, we'll tell you what to do. We can come out. We have a rapid response team.
Oh, it's immediate like that?
Yeah. If it needs to be, like if you're like, yes, immediately. We'll get a team out there, come and help you. At least come out and look at the scene while it's fresh, that kind of stuff. It's important. All the evidence that you can gather you'll never regret it.
I hear the commercial all the time, but I was wondering, like, are they going to show up if I get in this wreck? I didn't know it was like that. Like,
yeah. I mean, like in the immediate aftermath, just depending on what's going on, the police are going to be investigating, you're going to be waiting for the police. No matter what, we're going to walk you through things on the phone for sure. And then, if there's some reason we need to come out there, and I don't mean like, if there's some reason, I mean, if we're like, you know what, we need to get out there right now. Particularly if you have a wreck with some kind of commercial vehicle, because that driver is going to be on the phone to their company immediately. Their company is going to immediately send out a representative to like look at what's going on, talk to their driver, make sure they don't say anything stupid, all that kind of stuff. So in that kind of situation,
it's important to have that same thing.
To have somebody on your side, exactly. That's we're there for you. To have somebody on your side.
That's what it is. Well, Amber Mostyn, 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Did I say it right?
Yeah, 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK.
Yeah, MostynLaw.com.
MostynLaw.com, 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK.com.
Amber Mostyn on Instagram.
At Mostyn Law on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm a mom.
Amber Mostyn on Facebook?
That's right, I'm on Facebook. So, very accessible.
There it is. Well, thank you. It's been an honor to sit here and talk with you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Donnie.
All right, guys.
All right.
Cool.
I didn't melt. I started to.
Yeah.
Elliot, you can fix the sweat in post-production, right?
Yeah, I just put a blanket on you.
Yeah, great, good. Oh, thank you, Harrison. Thanks.
That's it.
That's it.
You're just telling me you didn't
I like
really
Donnie.
Yeah, like when was the last time y'all all kind of been together like this?
Never. June 27th.
Donnie Houston.
Oh yeah, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Donnie Houston here, man. Just wanna let y'all know that we got this June 27th reunion going down, man. You know what I'm saying? Right here, only on Donnie Houston TV. You know what I'm saying? Right here on YouTube, man. Hey, listen, man. Everybody was there, man. You know what I'm saying? That boy Kesey was there. That boy Bird was there. You know what I'm saying? That boy Demo was there. That boy Haircut Joe was there. Big Pokey was there. Youngster was there. You know what I mean? It was just really going down, man.
You know what I'm saying? Take a trip down memory lane, man, and just, relive that night, man, and, maybe pull out some gems and just see, what to do, man. So what's going down, man? How y'all boys feeling?
Good, man. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Right on. We here. Another year.
For sure. Appreciate y'all, man. It's going down, man. It's your boy Donnie Houston. We're still celebrating June 27th here at Bar 5015. And right now I'm joined by one of the hosts for the event. She's one of the curators for the event, rather. She's a phenomenal DJ, you know what I mean, radio host. You can catch her on The Vibe on KTSU. And she's responsible, having a hand in putting everything that we're here together, that we're here today for, you know what I'm saying? DJ Michele Mcknight, what's going on?
It's such a pleasure, Donnie.
How
I'm
you
so
doing?
excited.
You saying that?
The timing.
You're
Keep the
saying
timing that he just gave me my drink.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm honored.
What's going on?
I'm excited to be here. The heat is what's going on.
The heat is that's what's not going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hot as hell. June 27th, what we doing here?
So we're doing a lot. Obviously, we're celebrating Houston's culture, everything that Houston's culture brings, especially when it comes down to the music, slab culture, arts, food, good drink on top of that. And we also, too, are going to be celebrating some of our Houston icons and legends tonight. And the greatest part about it is the people that are coming and that are going to be receiving these recognition awards have no idea. And so big shouts out to Mostyn Law Firm, 1-800-TRUCK-WRECK. Because of them, we're able to gift them and show them the appreciation and our appreciation to their contribution to the culture here, being that we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop the way that we wanted to recognize them.
Yeah. So, okay. Being from H-Town, well...
No, you can say that. It's okay.
You're from Kingwood, though.
You don't have to bring in the fact I'm from the Northeast side. I'm from Houston. It doesn't matter if it's Northeast. It's still a part of Houston. Yeah.
What does June 27 mean? What does that mean?
Man, to me, I think every city needs a heart and a focal point, and to me, music culture in Houston, that's exactly what it is. And June 27th is one of those main days that we see is that. Of course, you know, you have 713 Day, but June 27th specifically here, paying homage and paying tribute to a new sound and how that new sound infiltrated the music industry and forever changed that. So that's what it means to me.
Okay. Well, do you remember the first time you heard June 27th?
You know, I don't, which is crazy because I asked you that question.
And remember I was telling you about Justin Robinson?
I do remember you telling me that.
So we're actually right here, like 2 blocks away from the place I heard June 27th for the first time.
Yeah.
Summer '96, right up there at Justin Robinson. It was going down. Yeah.
Because you said it was off Emancipation.
No, it's off Alameda. It's
Alameda.
2 blocks up. Yeah.
Yeah. That was history for me. So as you were hesitating to say that I was from Houston and what June 27th means to me, since I'm from Houston, I am an import. But I grew up in Houston. I spent the majority of my life here. My family moved to Houston.
To Kingwood.
Summer of '96. To Houston. Not to Kingwood, to Houston. I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep saying this to you. The year of '96. I think it was '96 anyway. I do know it was a short time after. It was right when my family moved here. That's when they annexed Kingwood into Houston. So I'm still H-Town. I've had a 281 and a 713 number.
I hear you. Well, okay. You're a DJ as well. Let's talk about some DJing. You know, how long you been DJing? When did you start DJing?
I started DJing like 10 plus years ago. And my DJ story really didn't start in Houston. Matter of fact, when I was in Houston before I left and I took a radio job in Milwaukee, I was talking to a few different people about taking me under their wing. One of my really, really good friends for a long time, more than 10 years plus, DJ Hefner. At the time, he was Go DJ Hefner. And we used to talk about that all the time. And I think that one of the first people that really entertained me when I said I was interested in being a DJ, and they didn't laugh at me, they didn't be like, oh, why do you want to be a DJ, and heckle the whole situation, was Brandy Garcia. And that's when I was working for
Brandy Garcia.
The legendary Brandy Garcia. And I had just started working for Radio 1. And it didn't take us long. I mean, literally maybe within a couple of weeks, we became real tight, real cool. And she just was one of those people that was always super encouraging, which I'm sure that you can have a testament in that in the DJ business. Everybody doesn't really embrace you or support you when off top you're like, hey, I really have a love for this. I really want to learn. Can you take me under your wing, or can you just show me some love and support? You never know what you're going to get. But she was that person. She was like, look, as soon as I said it, she said, get you a credit card, max that credit card out, get all the equipment that you need, because I guarantee you that money, you're going to see a return, and it's not going to take long. But if you got a passion for it, if you love it, then just go for it. Don't second guess yourself.
Yeah.
But when I moved to Milwaukee, that's when I learned to DJ.
Right. So talk about, being being a lady in the DJ industry, you know what I'm saying? You know, I think now you're seeing it
a lot more often, but like when you were coming around, like it was just starting to be this thing of you starting to see these women coming out, and they not just these women cute DJs, like no, they rocking the party. You know what I'm saying? Talk about how it's been for your journey. You know what I mean? Coming in as a woman and being able to navigate through the industry and through the game, and you know, through the ropes, man, learn the ropes and all that.
Early on, I will say I probably didn't have a lot of women DJs that were on my radar. You know, I mean, you have
it wasn't
you know,
many,
people who were
especially in Houston.
mainstream.
In Houston, it wasn't like that.
You know, of course, you had Superstar.
Right.
And I met Superstar a long time ago. Matter of fact, when we really started doing like original podcasts in 2010, we were hosting a show downtown, and she had just wrapped on the
she was on the DJ
first
show,
season,
the BJ show.
Masters of the Mix.
Master of the Mix, BET.
And she was one of the guests that we had. We were hosting, we were hosting Late Night Latte at Club Isis downtown. And that was my first time meeting Superstar. And I think, just other than Brandy Garcia, seeing somebody out here that was really doing it. And I mean, you know, we see that as big time, a VH1, a MTV, and even if, you know, you were on there for however many episodes that you were on there, you know, you're still out there and you're taking it that serious that you were able to take it to the next level to pursue your dream. And so it's interesting seeing the time that we're in from then versus now. But I think it's a blessing to be able to be around so many people that are passionate about what you're passionate. And for me, it's a driving force for me. I created an entire platform supporting women who are DJs called Me Versus Me. And not even just from a women's perspective, but I think just an artist perspective. A lot of times, especially when it comes to being a black artist, we feel like sometimes there's limited spots available for you to succeed in the area that it is that you're pursuing. But when it comes down to it, I mean, as long as you're doing what you're doing to be the best that it is that you can be and show up in the world as the best representation of yourself, I think that that's something to be celebrated and, you know, create a platform for other people to shine in that. And if anything, it pushes you to go even harder, you know, to compete with yourself and be me versus me when it comes down to it.
Right. So talk about this radio thing. You got the vibe going right now.
Talk about this radio thing.
We talk about this radio thing. You got the vibe.
Which one?
You got the vibe going on right now. Are you watching yourself?
This is
why I be always like, man, I don't know if we should bring the monitor because people.
No, I'm so glad you had that monitor there because I can keep checking myself and just making sure my stance is right. I'm one of those people like make me look skinny, so I'm just trying to make sure. Anyway, whatever. I currently work for The Vibe, which is powered by KTSU 90.9 FM in Houston, legendary station, first station in Houston that was playing hip hop music. Community radio, public radio. I started working there during the pandemic, which was wild. We launched that extension of KTSU in 2020. And I mean, I got a phone call one day and it completely caught me off guard. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say that now because somebody else had hit me and they're like, hey, this person hit me and they were asking about you and asking where you are and are you back in Houston and if you still are interested in working in radio, what you doing now. And so when I got the call, I was shocked, or at least I was acting like I was shocked, but I was very appreciative in that moment. Hatter is my boss. He's currently the program director at The Vibe. And so, you know, he reached out to me and was just like, hey, well, what are you doing? Is this something that's of interest to you? And so, I was down. I said, and honestly, it wasn't initially a job. It actually started out as a Labor Day weekend takeover, which was the launch of The Vibe in 2020. And he was just like, hey, well, you know, can you just come host a couple of hours? We're just going to have a bunch of different Houston influencers here, artists to do this. And then a couple months after that, he was like, man, hey, I got a job for you. Are you down? And I said, well, hell, you know, why not? Let's go for it. I've been working in commercial radio for years. It was kind of a love-hate relationship. I didn't really have the traditional grandiose experience. I moved around the country a lot of times chasing an opportunity because I just felt like you have to be in this place or you have to be in Market 1 or Market 2 or on the East Coast or on the West Coast for you to really be doing what it is that you love and get to that point where people are recognizing you as, you good at what you do. But I think now I'm at a different point in my life where it's more so like, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish with the platform that I have do I need to be associated with certain call letters to do that? Or do I just want to have a platform where I'm able to elevate people like other women that are aligned in the same works that it is that I'm doing? And if this is an opportunity where I can continue to build on that, let's go for it.
So what's next? I mean, you got radio, you got these events going, you DJing. What's next?
I don't know.
It's a great answer.
I don't know. I don't know. I do believe in the Lord ordering my steps, that's for sure. But one thing I am working on is turning the Me Versus Me showcase into a tour. I launched that project 2 years ago, 2021, at 5015, Women's History Month in March, the 1 year anniversary. We did it again. I actually had the legendary Yo-Yo come out to host the event. Had a lot of support behind that. Again, shout out to the people participated in that. Mostyn Law firm definitely helped me out with that a lot as well. And it turned into a platform not just for women DJs, but women artists, lyricists, poets, visual artists, women business owners. And so I want to continue to build on that, take it into other cities, tap into the talent that they have there, elevate them, and take it on tour, turn it into a series. So the sky is the limit. That's the dream.
That's what it is. Sky's the limit. I'm gonna be looking forward to see what you got coming up next.
Thanks, Tony.
And everything. Listening to you on the radio and definitely getting out here today and doing some slab karaoke for June 27th. You want to get your social media before we close out?
Absolutely. I am at Michele on air. Michele with 1 L. You spell it with 2. I'm not her. She is not me. Michele on air. My website is djmichelemcknight.com. And I have a TikTok. I don't remember my handle for it, but Michele on air and djmichelemcknight.com, all things Michele. You can find me there, and you can also listen to me Monday through Friday on the all new Vibe, powered by the Choice KTSU 90.9 FM, 7 to 11 p.m. on the Vibe app and on the KTSU 90.9 FM dial from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m. 8
This
p.m. to
sounded
11
like
p.m.
a radio spot.
Did it?
You really sounded like
Thank you, Donnie. You bring the best out of me, so I appreciate you.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that I can do that. It's going down, man. Michele Mcknight, I'm Donnie Houston. It's Donnie Houston Podcast. We live at 5015, June 27th. Proud of you.
Donnie Houston.
Subscribe to the Donnie Houston Podcast, man.